So there we
go. Let's get back to it.
It's a beautiful day in Texas. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter celebrating Jesus with your families and your friends at church and all the things. Aren't you grateful for Jesus and his grace? Hallelujah. We are so excited about tonight's call. Listen, guys, if there's some folks, I'm going to do a few announcements here at the beginning. If there's anyone that you know should be on this call who isn't, send them a text real quick and just remind them, okay? We've just recently started up our Monday night call, so they may still need that reminder to jump in there. Who was listening to Corporate's Motivational Monday today? Who heard our rock star, Miss Jana Beth Hooten, aka Jelly Bean? I should have told Matthew Aaron to call you that. Oh my goodness, Jana, you did such a great job. It was fantastic. It really was. And we're not just saying that because we're your team. We're saying that because you really did do such a great job. If you missed it, be sure to go back and get the recording and listen. If you're like, how do I get on these calls? Where are the links for these things? What do I do? You need to make sure you're signed up to get Plexus's text messages and Plexus's emails. Make sure you're signed up for those, and then they will send you reminder messages about these calls with a link to click right away. Who is registered for convention? Oh yeah, Sue's excited. I see you, Sue. Okay, listen, if you have been to convention before, post about it in the chat right now. Post about it. Post about how amazing it was. Now listen, if you went and you hated it, don't post that. But if you no, you didn't hate it. I'm just teasing. Just post about it in the chat. Let everybody else know how important it is. You guys, I can't stress enough how important I think even this year's, let me lower, I look like a priest. Okay, I have on a Plexus shirt. There we go. Maybe I should unzip that a little. I didn't look at myself very good. Okay, Father Amber. Anyways, but make sure that you're registered for convention. You guys, it is life-changing. It is business-changing. And what I was saying before, I think it's even more important this year because we haven't had this community in so long. And you need to be around like-minded thinkers that love this business as much as you do. Now listen, I don't want to take any time from our speaker tonight. I'm still admitting people from the waiting room. Go ahead and send those text messages if you know of somebody that isn't on this call that needs to be. Jana, did you have anything you want to add before we turn it over?
Nope.
Just nope. That's it. Just nope. She did all her Motivational Monday. She did it, y'all. She already did her thing tonight and did amazing. You guys, when I think of who I want to speak to my team, this gal is always at the top of my list. And there's one reason why. Jana will agree with me on this. When we started Plexus, and those of you that have been around a while, you can understand this. We didn't have Motivational Monday. We didn't have all the trainings. We didn't have all the things that corporate gives us now. We didn't know how to sign up to get Plexus text messages because there weren't Plexus text messages. We didn't know what we were doing. In other words, like we didn't know. We just knew we had products that were amazing. They were changing our lives and we wanted them to change our friends and family's lives. Then we found out that we had a business plan that was out of this world that makes you go, you know, just kind of mouth drop open when you really, I was explaining the compensation plan to a new person last night and I saw the light bulb go off. Our business plan is so unbelievable, but we didn't know what we were doing. Well, the one and only, I call her the Queen of Plexus. She's my Queen of Plexus, Sonya Dudley. She had already been in another network marketing company. I believe it was 23 years. Is that right? Somewhere around there. I've heard your story.
Yeah.
I do want you to fill in the blanks tonight.
Yeah.
And when she moved over to Plexus, she brought her wealth of knowledge with her and she freely delivered it on YouTube. She is a One Plexus Award winner, and rightfully so, because she said, you know what? I don't care if Jana and Amber aren't on my team. I don't care if I don't even know Jana Hooten and Amber Livesey. Like, I don't even care. I'm going to train them how to do this business. And she didn't know us. And we met her, we saw her. I remember we saw you for the first time at a gala, Sonya, and we're like, there's Sonya Dudley. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. And Jana's like, let's go talk to her. Let's go talk to her. We went and talked to you and we got a picture. And Jana will tell you as we hugged you and you walked away, she's like, she has the softest back ever of anyone ever. Her back is so soft.
I just saw that picture. That picture just popped up and I literally thought, oh my gosh, because you had like a a ball gown on, like,
Yeah,
you know, a
gala
formal gown. And I still remember, I was like, she has the softest skin I think I've ever touched.
Must have been the plexus. Must have been the plexus. That's my first meeting with Sonya Dudley. Since then, Jana and I have become great friends with her. We love her so much. Can't say enough wonderful things about her. So I am just going to turn the next few minutes over to Sonya. And then if you guys think of some questions along the way, either go ahead and put them in the chat or jot them down. And at the end, if we have time, we're to do a Q&A. But you guys give it up for Diamond Brand Ambassador Sonya Dudley.
Thank you, Amber. Goodness. Yeah, I love when people take me back. I love when people take me back because it's so easy to be, I don't want to say to forget, but it's just nice I love it when people say, I remember when I met you for the first time, and then they tell me, and it's like, oh yeah. Because I meet a lot of people, and I remember meeting y'all, and then you were sisters, and then, you know, like, I don't even know what rank you were at the time, but it's just been such a joy for me to watch people that I've met 8, 9, 10 years ago, almost 10 years for me. And then, you know, they're diamonds now, and they've got diamonds on their teams. I'm like, I remember when they joined, or I remember when they were a struggling silver, and they were coming to me going, I just need some help. And it's just, it's really the best part of what we do. And I know you agree. So thank you for inviting me on. I'm always honored. I love to pour into people. I love to share. And well, my name is Sonya Dudley, and I am from a little small town in Tennessee. I live about an hour and 15 minutes west of Nashville. So I'm off the Loretta Lynn exit. I know, Amber, you've passed by, and I think you've sent me a picture before, and like, I'm passing your exit. So I live off that exit, and just a really tiny town. I've been here my entire life. We moved to Nashville when we got married. My husband got a job there, and we lived there for only 5 years. And then he kept his job, and we moved back home. We're family land, built a home on family land. And my husband drove back and forth for many, many years. And I was able to early retire him at 53 in August from that crazy drive and that stressful job. So I'm so thankful for Plexus. My background, Amber, you were really close. I've been in network marketing my entire life. I'm 50, I'll be 53 this year. I cannot even, it makes me cry. I can't talk about age because it really has gone so fast. It's emotional because one of my sentences I was going to ask you tonight is, let's see, and it's a good time for me to say this. Which one of these disturb you the most? A life of regret or the pain of change? A life of regret or the pain of change? Because those are two things to think about in your daily life. So I was in Mary Kay for 17 years and had a pink Cadillac, had earned several cars, and the last one was the pink Cadillac. And it was a very, that career taught me, that company taught me a lot. I quit college my senior year and went full time with that company. I highly respect that company. However, there was a lot of debt involved, a lot of parties, and I pretty much had kind of thrown my hands up for network marketing. And I went to work for, I got a real job, and I had a boss because, you know, that's a real job. And so that's what I did. Yes, a lot of inventory, a lot of bank loans, consolidation loans. So I got really, really, really sick. And I obviously, because of, you know, compliance, I can't really sit and talk about what I had, but it began with an F and it ended with an IA, and I was in pain all the time. It was miserable. There were many, many, many days where I just would take a hot bath and I would just go to bed, and I was in bed at 7 at night. I had a heating, mattress pad. I was very much, at 38, 39, just miserable, and went to doctor after doctor. When I got into Plexus, Helen McFadden, who was at the time my best friend of like 20, I don't know, 25 years, 24 years, now 30 years. And she said, I know we said we'd never do anything like that again, but I believe this could change your health, and the comp plan looks incredible. So that's what we did. I joined for the products, but I said, if these products work, we're going to go all the way, because I said, my friends have seen me do enough. And I'm at the point of, I can't do one more thing unless I make it to the top. And that was kind of my mindset of going in. If these products work, there is no option of quitting. There's no option of worrying about what people think about me, because that, number one, is what stops most of you from proceeding in your journey, in your dreams. You truly deep down have a fear of something. And a lot of it for most people is, what are people going to think of me? And do I deserve success? So the products changed my life right away. And I'll tell you, if they haven't changed your life right away, it's okay. Everyone's different. It can take time, but consistency, staying on the products, doing them as you're supposed to, all your water, working with the products, it will happen. But for me, it happened right away. Everything changed for me. And I will present you with this. I do not like salespeople. I do not like to feel like I'm being sold to. It's a big turnoff for me. So one of the things I remember saying was, I would never sell anything again. But when something dramatically affects your quality of life, you're not selling. You are talking about your life. People talk about how they feel, what they're doing, what their job is. They just talk about those things. Well, when your life changes and you feel good, you're talking about that you're feeling good, and that you're exercising, and that oh my goodness, I'm drinking water. I've never drank water in my life. You're talking about things. So I need you to change your mindset of, what are people going to think? This is not a sales position. This is I want to help other people see what I've seen. And that's it. And if they say no, they say no. It's no reflection of you. When someone offers me a piece of gum and I say no, I'm not saying no to that person. I'm saying no to what they're offering, because I don't know enough about it to say yes. So think of it that way. Change that mindset. So yeah, I got into Plexus, and 10 weeks later I was able to quit my full-time job. And the way the videos started, Amber, was not because I wanted to be a YouTube famous videographer. It was, there were thousands of people asking me questions, and they were asking me the same questions. And I thought, how can I duplicate myself? How can I manage? How can I get a shower at least every other day, as it was growing so fast I couldn't leave my computer or my phone? And that's how that started, was so I could just duplicate myself. And so 4 months in, hit Emerald. And then I'm sorry, not 4 months in, 4 months after quitting my job. So March, hit Emerald. July, hit Diamond, and have not looked back. And it'll be 10 years in September. But I'll tell you, when people say, oh, you did it fast, I did not do it fast. I had a lot of training in Mary Kay. And 17 years in that company, I was not even a 10th of a way to the top. I was not even close. I wasn't even really silver. Not money wise, I was making more money than silver. But in the rank up, if you compare it to Plexus, I was literally so far from the top. And I was in a lot of debt. So a whole different ballgame. Our comp plan is the best. I've done 4 companies, maybe 5. There's nothing out there longevity wise that will compare to Plexus. You can jump the ship and make some quick money. There is nothing that's going to sustain you like Plexus comp plan and the integrity of our company. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about fear and about mindset and perspective. A lot of people, in order to reach a goal, a lot of times people say, I'm stuck, can't do this. I'm struggling with this. Maybe they're not organized. Maybe they feel like, I'm not a people person. They say all these lists of things that are holding them back. But truly, what I've discovered in people, just in life, is that when people really want something, they just find a way, make a way. I remember being broke, like to the point I was broke. My husband had a great job, but I had overextended us. And, but when I wanted something badly enough, let me tell you something. This girl would find the way. I would sell stuff. I could come up with anything. I'd bake some pies and sell them. I'd come up with a way to do it, right? That's the people we're looking for. We're looking for people out there who are so sick and tired of their situation that they're not giving you an excuse. They're going to find a way to make it happen. That's who we're looking for. Me too. We all are. But most of those people who are trying to reach a goal, typically they don't need a new planner. They don't need to get organized. They don't need, they don't need to watch more videos. They don't need to read a new book. They truly need to break through their fear. They need to break out of that comfort zone, because nothing that you dream about, nothing that you think about, nothing that excites you to the point of like a little bit of nervousness, none of that happens in your comfort zone. It's all right on the outside of that comfort zone. It is. So I want to encourage you that when you start to do something and you feel a hesitancy and you feel like you stop yourself, I want you to become very aware of what you're thinking about when you feel that. So when you start to pick up the phone and call someone and you stop, what just went through your mind? I want you this week to become very consciously aware of what your thought was when you stopped, because there is something deep down holding you back. And it may be something you don't even think about, but most of us were not raised. Some of us were raised with very encouraging people around us and people who believed in us and praised us. But I would veer to say most people, I would say 60 to 70% were raised with people who maybe not intentionally held you back or said things, but because their mama talked that way to them, well, their mamas talked that way to them, and then your mama talked that way to you. And she was not intentionally trying to hold you back or hurt you or sabotage you, but it's just all they knew. And so when they would say to you, Jana, honey, get real. Nobody does that, honey. Don't be a dreamer. That's not reality. Honey, most people don't make it in their own business. You need to just get a job, go to college, get a degree, and you'll be fine. And they meant well, but they don't know what they don't know. They don't know you. They don't know your heart. They don't know the dream God gave you. And I knew from a little girl, God gave me a dream. And I remember being little bitty and saying, I want to be my own boss. I want to own a mall. Now, this was like little. I'd say, I want to own a mall, and I want to tell everybody what to do, and I want to be rich. I remember thinking and verbalizing those things at a young age. Well, there's a lot of work involved, I'm sure, in owning a mall, but I just always knew I was not your normal bird. I just didn't want to have a boss. I wanted time freedom more than I wanted anything in my life. More than money, I wanted time freedom. So I want you to think about those thoughts when you start to get hesitant about something. And you may have a fear of success that you are not aware of. Like, what if I'm successful? No one in my family has really done anything off the beaten path. So you have this underlying subconscious fear of, I can't do something different. What if it didn't work out? What would that look like? How would people view me if that didn't work out? I know it's not easy to do what we do and to pursue it full time. But you are either going to pay the price now or you're going to pay the price later. There's a lot of people that work hard now, but they work hard doing something for somebody else and they hate it. And when they retire, they still have to go get another job. So you're either going to step out of that comfort zone now, or you're going to be retired and you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone then just to get by. And so it's one or the other. I love reading. I'm going to have to go back and read this thread when I'm finished. I love to connect with you guys. So one way that I've always taken myself out of a comfort zone is to just use some positive affirmations. It's very scriptural. It's not crazy. We are what we speak. You can't plant carrots and get potatoes. You're going to get what you talk about, think about, verbalize, and say. So using affirmations has always been huge for me. I remember the old days. I would record them on an affirmation is just basically it's positive present tense as is, because your mind is like a little computer up here, and you all know people who all they do is complain all day long. And those people, they complain all day long. If the sun's out, they're complaining that we need rain. If it's raining, we need sun. If it's never ever good enough. And those people, they produce the fruit of their life shows what they think about and talk about. So if you need to change that, then you've got to plant different words, because your mind, you're in charge of what comes out. So if you start thinking different thoughts, you're going to start producing different fruit, different results. So I remember I would record, which now we have our iPhones and we can record there's an app called Repeat It Again. Actually, on the Droid, it's called Affirmation Remix, I think, on a Droid. I was going to look, but I think that's it. And you can record your affirmations and they'll play over and over, but it used to be on a cassette tape. It would just play over and over. And I would press play at night and I would put it on. I had these big old headphones, lay down and go to sleep with them on, and it would play for 3 or 4 hours. And when I would wake up in the middle of the night, I'd take them off because I knew it had been going long enough, over and over and over and over. And I would say things like, so I would encourage you, write down some of your fears, write down some of your struggles, and then you turn those into positive, opposite affirmations. So when I was financially struggling, I would make an affirmation that would say something like, it feels so good to not worry about the money in my checking account. In fact, I love that I have $10,000 or more all the time in my checking account. I enjoy giving. I enjoy saving. I enjoy spending. I enjoy doing whatever I want with my money because it's no big deal. It's there. Like I would just say things like that. I would kind of talk in a paragraph, in a story, because that's kind of what I like to do instead of just little choppy sentences. And I would just let it play over and over and over. You could say something like, it's exciting that I'm going to hit gold or above by April 30th. You always say the goal, but you say or more.
What?
Or above. Yeah, when you think about, you bring about, for sure. So you always want to use the word, or more, because you don't want to limit yourself. Your mind doesn't know reality. It doesn't know time. It just does what you say. So you're in charge of what comes out. So I love using affirmations. You've got to be bold. When I say bold, I don't mean being salesy. I don't like that. I'm talking about I'm talking about like when you're talking to someone or you're building a relationship, don't be afraid to ask them questions. Don't be afraid to talk to them about their health issues. Don't be afraid to tell them, say, you would be great at doing what I do. Don't be afraid of that. Now, I'm not saying you walk up to somebody and start doing that. That's pushy. You build a relationship. You ask them questions. You connect with them. You relate to them. You may not ever mention Plexus when you're talking to them, ever. It may be that it just comes up after you walk away and you said, let's connect on social media. You've got the cutest kids. You've got the cutest dogs. Let's connect on social media. And then you build a relationship by connecting through social media. Then they will see what you do and they will ask you what you do. But be patient and make a very good pattern of doing that everywhere you go, being bold. Boldness will bring you blessings. Boldness and confidence will bring you blessings. People want to follow confident people and bold people. People don't want to follow a parked car. That's what most of the world is. They're just a parked car waiting on another car to leave. You want to step out of that comfort zone and be that moving car that people say, you know what? Wow, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how he does it, but man, I like this person. I just like to follow them. I just like to watch them on social media. They're just really bold. They're really courageous. Don't you love people like that? I love people like that. So be that person. You can be that person. If you're shy, you can say, it feels so good to walk in a room and everywhere I go, people are attracted to me. I love the fact that I walk in a room and people flock to me to talk to me. Like, say that affirmation. That's a powerful affirmation. If you feel insecure, if you don't feel like people like you, say those things. You will be so shocked at what happens in your life if you start thinking that way and talking that way. If you believe, and I know it's almost 8. I didn't even ask you how much time, but I assume it's a 30-minute call. I will cut myself off here and open for questions. I'm good with time, but I want to be able to open it up for 5 or 10 minutes of questions.
Okay, as long as you're good on time, we're good. We normally roll these for about 45 minutes to an hour, so we're good.
Okay. Boldness brings blessings. If you do truly believe, and I believe this with every fiber in my body, I believe it is so much more. I love to give. I love to bless people. I love to just pay somebody's check or, just send somebody gifts. I love it. It's a joy to me. And if you truly believe that and you don't expect anything in return, you're in the right business. You're in the right business, because I'm going to tell you, on days when I feel low and I feel down and I feel empty, I can just force myself to say, I'm just going to pick up my phone. I'm just going to voice an ambassador or a friend or a family member and just give them a word of encouragement. That is a blessing that I'm giving someone, and it always makes me feel better that I did it. And it always blesses them, but it blesses me more. And if you will have a heart like that and you will just long for that heart, you won't have to worry about your life. You won't have to worry about what you have, because it won't even be on your mind. God will take care of you in so many more ways than just financially. It's crazy. So I never feel like I'm taking from people or getting from people when I'm looking to give people an opportunity to get our products, an opportunity to have a business that has drastically changed not only my life, my family's life, but generations to come. How is that a taking and a getting mentality? That is a giving mentality. So if you can go into your everyday business of who can I give a blessing to today? If they say no, they have refused an opportunity, but at least I've done my part. Go into everyday thinking, who can I give this to? Who can I offer this to? Who there, and pray over it. God, just lead the people to me that need to hear what I have to give today, what I have to offer them today. And he will surely do that. You will be blessed abundantly connecting like that with people. Connecting, being sincere, being passionate, being relatable, being vulnerable, being honest will bring you the people. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't go on Facebook and paint this beautiful picture if you ain't having a beautiful day. In fact, go on there, don't be negative, but let it be okay to say, you know what? This is not a normal day for me, but I'm just going to tell you, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Let me tell you what's happened. Anybody relate to me? Here's how I've turned it around. And people will say, oh my gosh, I would have never thought that about you. Or, oh my gosh, I felt this way last week. It's so good to see this from you. I would have never thought this about you. People are longing to connect more than ever. They're longing to relate. They're longing to connect. And they sometimes, as I do, think I'm on an island all by myself. And some days I feel lonesome. And I think, am I the only one that's just, lonely today? And it's okay to say to people, is there anybody else that's feeling lonesome? Let me tell you, this is just know that that's okay. Know that that's okay to be real. It's crucial for you to be real. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. Very much so. Very much so. All right. I'm going to stop because I want to be able to really answer questions. And my voice is I had a coaching call before this and it's a little weak. Chugging my water, but it's a little weak. So.
Well, Sonya, thank you so much. I took, I think, 3 pages of notes. And I just wanted to tell you all, I know that a lot of you guys also know Sonya, but what she's practicing, she's preaching, or what she's preaching, she's practicing. She walks the talk. The sincerity and the realness and the compassion for people. And I feel like for some people, and I don't mean this in an ugly way, but you need to pray for God to give you more of that, for God to give you more of that compassion for others, empathy, and connecting with people. Sonya does that really, really well. And I love that you touched on posting real stuff. Y'all, the enemy wants us to feel alone. That is a tool of Satan himself. If you're a believer, he knows he can't get your heart, but he can get your attitude. He can get your day. And so that feeling so alone in your hurt or in your sorrow or in your sin or in just your blah of the day, that was a technical term, by the way, blah of the day. You're connecting with other people and you're fighting that of I'm not alone in this, and I'm going to help other people not feel alone in it either. So Sonya, I love that you mentioned that. But let's open this up to questions. And I know you connected with some folks with Mary Kay because we have some old Mary Kayers on our team. But let's open this up to questions. If you have a question for Sonya, either post it in the chat. Or unmute yourself if you're ready to fire away with a question. Who's got one for Miss Sonya Dudley? She's reading the chat. I see it. There was some good stuff happening over in the chat.
Yeah, Terry.
Anybody got anything?
Yeah.
Someone's got to have a question for Sonya.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay,
Um,
Sonya, let's talk real quick just about the affirmations, because I think those are so important.
yeah.
If you come in my house right now, there's pink Post-it notes on my walls that I read through that are scripture, or they say things like grace or God is with me or different things like that, as those kind of affirmations. So when you started doing that, what changes did you see happening, like in your personal life, in your business? How long did it take you to see those changes? Because I think they're so important. And listen, we're not talking about the guy from SNL where you sit in front of the mirror, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. But
People like me.
if that's the one you need to borrow, if that's the affirmation you need, then by all means steal that one. But talk to us just a little. I've heard you talk before about them.
Yeah.
Talk to us just a little bit more about those.
Well, I have some written down that I've written down before, and I could read a few, but I'll tell you that when I started doing them, and I was writing them on a postcards, not postcards, oh goodness, index cards. It's been a day. It's been a good day, but it's been a busy day. Index cards. I would write them on there, and I would, read them over and over and over. And I would set an alarm to beep, every 3 or 4 hours to read them. And it take me 3 minutes, 2 minutes to read over them. I'd read over them 5 or 6 times. But then I started recording them, because everyone comprehends things differently, through hearing, through seeing, through touching, visualizing. I love, to put a song on and read them, think about things with a song. So anything that's powerful. But oh gosh, Amber, I saw a difference in my business within 2 weeks or less, like probably less. And then as I kept doing it, I'll tell you, the first year I did it in Mary Kay, and I did it consistently. Let's talk about that word. Some of you need to quit beating yourself up because you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not doing it long enough, period. End of story. But I noticed that year that I did it consistently, that was my highest year in Mary Kay. It was the year we won the Cadillac. I was in Queens Court of Sales, Queens Court of Recruiting. My team did a unit club. It was the biggest year I'd ever had. And what's crazy is, when I teach people how to do this, and then we follow up a couple of weeks later with a coaching call, and they go, oh my goodness, like I've had people just come out of the woodwork, like people I have, and I'm thinking they're not coming out of the woodwork. You've changed your focus. You're noticing your whole mindset's changed. So you're going after things that you wouldn't have gone after because the fear is being removed. And so it's just things like that I noticed. My fear is of success. How much work and time is involved in being at the top? Because I seem overwhelmed. Okay. Oh, good one. Victoria, let me tell you something. You will work way harder now than you'll ever work at the top. I have more time freedom now, and I would be embarrassed to tell you right now, at my stage, 33 years of doing this, my husband just retired. I don't work much, and I'm okay with it because it's what I've worked my whole life to say. I don't work much. Even when I hit Diamond 10 months in, yes, I worked hard for a couple more years, but I love time freedom. And so I've learned how to manage my time. I've learned how to delegate a lot. I can clean my house, but there's people who clean it better and who enjoy it and who I can afford to pay. So yes, it's great news. I can promise you on a Bible, you won't work near as hard as a diamond as you work right now. You are building a foundation for your future. You are. And so I always introduce yourself with the, yeah, I had Mary Kay girls that could say, yeah, exactly. Yep. Yes, Lynn, that's a direct message to me, but that's true. Yeah.
Hey, Sonya.
We would always introduce ourselves, that way, like with our affirmations. Mary Kay taught me a lot, that's for sure.
Hey, Sonya.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
I'm Carl
Hey, Carl.
Vanderberg. I live in Savannah.
By the way, Sonya, Carl joined in March and is already senior silver, almost gold. So what's up, Carl?
That's fantastic, Carl. Wow.
Just
Thank you.
throwing a shout out that way. But go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
Well, thank you. I live in Savannah, Tennessee, close to Savannah, Tennessee.
You do
So,
not. Are
yeah.
you serious?
I'm serious. So your area, I'm maybe an hour away probably from your area.
I was just in Savannah taking our boat to Pickwick to have it serviced
Really?
4 days ago, Friday,
Oh,
Thursday.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The question I had for you is just, I think in general, in sales in the past and even now, you ever have a problem with prejudging people? I tried my best not to prejudge. So that's something you can make a point out on, probably, because
Yeah.
a lot of times I look at somebody, I'm talking to somebody, it's like, no, they can't do that, or they don't want to do that. And so I'm trying to get over that part of not prejudging somebody.
Yeah.
Just talk to them, I say relate to them.
Yeah. And that's such a good point, Carl. It's such something that we typically always do in sales. But I'll tell you, I've learned a couple of things over the years. Number one, I learned the hard way when I didn't speak to someone that I wished I had have spoken to that ends up successful in another company or in the company I'm in. Number one. Number two is I always would say those people that I was hesitant and prejudged, I would after a while, I would make myself go up to them and say, Carl, listen, like if I say I just met them or talked to them, I'd be like, listen, I don't know you that well. You look like you got it all together. In fact, I was hesitant to even talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, that's a compliment to them.
Right.
I was hesitant to talk to you. I was actually intimidated to talk to you.
Yeah.
And they're going, me? Then they go, me? And you're like, and then and then you say, you know what? You look like you have it all together. I'm in a health and wellness company. You just look like you're healthy. But you know what? I don't know what's going on in your body. I don't know your energy. And you know what? I don't know your family and friends who could probably benefit from what I have. So can I give you my card? You look into it. Have you ever heard of Plexus? Whatever. But be honest. I'm telling you, being honest and vulnerable with people right from the beginning. I was scared to talk to you. I've been wanting to talk to you for a year, and I've been hesitant to talk to you because you intimidate me. You look like you got it all together.
That's so true. Yeah.
It's very flattering to someone. It's a huge compliment, but it's such a good compliment that typically they grab your arm and say, you've got to be kidding. and that breaks the ice for you.
Yeah. Being honest. That's it. Being honest.
Be honest.
Hey, Sonya.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, I'm curious. We all know the value of our products. There's no doubt about it. But what do you say to somebody that says, you know what, they just seem so expensive, I can't afford this?
I usually use the takeaway approach to that, Terry. I'll say something like, you know what, it may not be for you right now, but let me tell you what happened to me. I was on so many medications. I spent so much time at a doctor. I had to take off work so much. I was so sick that for me, and I love to do this, for me, like personally for me, my opinion, what happened to me is it cost me more to be sick than to stay on top of my health. But you know what, Terry, it may not be for you right now.
That's excellent.
It may be something that later down the road you decide to do, but because it has to be for you. You have to be ready, has to be your decision. But for me, man, I spend a lot less. I might spend the same or a little bit less now, but boy, my quality of life's changed. So I'd love to tell my story a little bit like that and take it away from people. Sometimes when you take it away from people,
they kind of want it then.
They want it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always used the takeaway approach a lot of times, especially if I have had somebody interested, I message them back, they message me back. Well, we go back and forth and then they just ignore me. I'll say, you know what? Hey, Susie, I'll follow up. I'm going to follow up one more time. I don't want to ignore you, but I sure don't want to push you. Maybe this is not for you right now, and that is totally okay. Let me know so I can mark you off my list.
That's excellent. But actually worked for me just last week. It is like, yeah, let me take that away from you. Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks.
Say that again. You know what, Terry, I don't want to bug you, but I also don't want to neglect you.
Right.
Maybe this is not for you right now. Just let me know so I can mark you off my list.
That's great.
It's just a simple thing. It's just a fact. You're not being emotional. It's factual.
Yeah. And I know for me and my personality, you're absolutely right. When people take something away and they're like, wait a minute, maybe I do want it. She's saying I can't have it. She just turned her camera off. But I also wanted to say a big happy birthday to Miss Terry Paxton. What's up, Terry?
Well,
So a big happy birthday. Yes. Does anyone else have any more questions for Miss Sonya Dudley? You guys, listen, when you see her at convention, go say hi. She's the sweetest thing with the softest back. You're gonna love it.
We're gonna touch your back, Sonya, and you're like,
Yeah, our whole team is gonna just want to be like, can I feel your back?
Y'all can. I'll be sure. I'll be sure I'll bust my back first, and then y'all can touch my back. Yeah, no one wants to be marked off. And do you use sip and seas? I do sip and seas. I love doing them. I'm going to Ohio. If you guys have anybody in Ohio, in Worcester, Ohio, Michelle Thomas and I are driving 7.5 hours up there to do an event and then coming home the next day. I'm like, Michelle, let's fly. No, we're driving. Okay, we're driving. I don't like to drive that far, but I'm like, we're driving. But if you have anybody in Worcester, Ohio, I put the flyer on my story tonight, so it'll be there for 24 hours if you want to grab it.
Hey, will you just real quick message me that flyer and I'll post it. I have a few people commenting that they have people that live there. So then I'll post it on our team page so they don't miss it. So thank you for that, Sonya. Yes, guys, events right now, when we did that event a couple weeks ago in Tennessee, people want to be invited to things right now. Vicky was there. She'll tell you, like, it was so much fun. People want to go places right now. Have those events. Have it in your home. Find a private room at a restaurant. I think the restaurant private room is one of the best ways to go. It's a little less intimidating than going to someone's home. You can share a meal together. It's more relaxing. It's all good things. Sonya, thank you so very much for giving up your time tonight. We love you so very much. We are so grateful for you and for just sharing with us tonight. As long as no one else has any more questions, we'll go ahead and hop off here. I just want to say a quick shout out to every one of y'all that got on this call tonight. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Go ahead, let me see it. You poured into your business tonight. You poured into yourself. Download that app, repeat it again. Let's all start those affirmations. What if we all started them together at the same time? Can you imagine what our team would do? Whoo, right? Y'all, there's so much momentum. It's called Repeat It Again, Victoria. It's daily affirmation app that she talked about, but there's so much momentum in Plexus right now. There's also so much momentum happening on this team. And I'm super excited to see how the rest of this month is going to play out. You guys, next Monday night, we have another amazing call with, just for our team, with Genevieve Scory, y'all. Don't miss it. It's just for our team. It's going to be small and intimate with Genevieve and just us. Then the next week we have Celeste Gwynn. Okay, you guys, we've got some amazing calls coming up. Don't miss them. Let's have a closing word of prayer and we will hop off. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for Sonya, for her willingness to pour into us tonight. Lord, thank you just for how you've blessed her. Lord, I just pray you will continue to bless her and her family and her business. Lord, thank you for this team and for the wonderful people that you've given us on this team. I know Jana and I are so grateful for each and every one of them. Lord, thank you for Jana and for her pouring into us tonight on Monday Motivation. Lord Jesus, we love you. We thank you. We praise you for all that you are and for all that you do. In your name, amen. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and we will see you guys next Monday with Genevieve. Okay? See y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you. Enjoy, y'all.